Hey, everybody, off the Mike Sports Network here. Another edition of Off the Top Rope. You guys noticed that we haven't really heard from Dwayne The Rock Johnson in a while since that fateful night in Toronto, where, at least on WWE television, that fateful night in Toronto, where he led the John Cena heel turn. And then obviously he went on Pat McAfee after missing WrestleMania, talked about how he wasn't needed there. So TC at WrestleVotes put this out there, and this jumped this. I mean, this was eye opening to me. He said the Rock's team has final approval over any media that WWE publishes featuring him. His team reviews every single social media post or video asset he appears in before it is released to the public. Man, I don't know if anybody has done more damage to their public credibility than The Rock. This guy was universally beloved. And I know there were some murmurings about how much of an ass he could kind of be, but my God, in the last 2 years, I don't know if anybody has considering a guy who is the people's champion, a guy who is the people's champion and is all about the people. And this whole final boss thing was kind of formed out of thin air, and because he's so damn talented, he made it work. Made chicken salad out of chicken shit. Good for him. But then he undid a lot of these storylines, and then went back in, did this angle, this soul thing with John Cena and Cody Rhodes, and then left, just left. And now we're hearing stuff about, oh, okay, he has to approve everything. I understand he's a board member, but he needs to have his hands on everything. And he wanted to go and do a certain thing with Cody. He wanted to do a certain thing with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. The Rock has always been about himself, and we've talked about this here on this channel. But taking this a step further, you guys know the storyline that John Cena is in right now. He wants to ruin wrestling. I think in some ways, The Rock is kind of ruining wrestling. He's out for himself, and by extension of that, he is kind of ruining a lot of the things that make professional wrestling great. Like the whole kayfabe thing. You guys remember what he was talking about? I know all the finishes to the matches, talking about all these things, just tearing down all those things, talking about like the whole storyline with John Cena and Cody. So and I understand a lot in a lot of respect, kayfabe is dead, but and now saying, oh, he needs to approve anything that WWE produces. So again, how is this helping anything with WWE? How is and then when The Rock is needed, like I was hammering for months that him and Roman Reigns should happen in Las Vegas earlier this year. Didn't happen. Then when I saw him get interjected into that storyline with Cody Rhodes, I was like, oh, cool. We're going to have Rock get involved with John Cena. There's going to be this big faction with him and Travis Scott, even though I don't really give a shit about Travis Scott. And then John Cena just wins with Travis Scott's help at WrestleMania. No sign of The Rock. And John Cena's heel turn, which in a lot of ways probably would have been done 10 times better if this would have happened at WrestleMania, not at Elimination Chamber in Toronto, even though that was an incredible moment that we will never forget. Think about this. John Cena kicking Cody Rhodes low to win the WWE Championship, and that's his first act as heel in 22 years, as opposed to him just turning after winning an Elimination Chamber and then having this awkward build. Now, the plan that they had for this heel turn has not been great, but it might have been felt a lot better had Rock not interjected himself there, or if he would have interjected himself at WrestleMania. It still would have sucked because he wouldn't have been around for it. But if you do that, again, in a lot of ways, The Rock has kind of ruined WWE. We thought he was going to be the savior because, hey, he's on the TKO board, but TKO's kind of ruined this thing too. It's better because it's not Vince McMahon, but, a lot of the shit has been going on, and Rock is interjecting and making, things about himself. He's telling people he's having to okay things with his likeness or like anything that goes up on social media. His team has to review it. It's like, dude, I get it, man. You're one of the greatest of all time. You're one of the all-time like most entertaining people to work in Hollywood, wrestling, whatever. You're one of the richest people and one of the most famous people in the world. Like, if he really cared about all of us, and I've talked about this, like he would be there to pay off things, but Him showing up there was because, according to him, Ari Emanuel thought they needed ticket sales. So he went in there, did a favor for his buddy, and then got the fuck out of there because it didn't serve him. It didn't help him. And he was already irked at Triple H because, based off of this whole narrative around power struggle, he was irked at Triple H and irked, the way things went when the whole narrative of, or the whole thing with that Rock and Roman Reigns match didn't go over according to plan. And they had to pivot back to Cody and Roman for WrestleMania 40, which was the right decision. And he did good business, but why couldn't he could have easily paid off with a match with Cody. He could have easily paid off with a match with Roman. He did neither of those. He didn't even show up. And now we're hearing stories about him having veto power over certain types of things with his thing. It's all about him. And by extension, he is ruining wrestling. Not John Cena in character. Rock in real life is ruining something that he supposedly loves. That's what's wild about this whole situation. So I don't know when we'll see him again. Frankly, I'd be fine if we never saw him again. And that sucks because we would not get the Rock Roman Reigns match that we really deserved, but that's his fault. That's his fault, man. Like, he could have easily come on in and done it at, 38, 39. You probably could have done it at 35 if you wanted to. You could have done it at 34. You could have done it at 33. You weren't going to do it at 32 after Roman had won the championship. So you could have very easily done it at any of those WrestleManias. You could have done it at that one. And then obviously 40 was you waited too long. They were in the midst of a storyline with Cody. Like, you had opportunities to do it, and he's totally shit the bed because all of this he is blinded by his own ego. And that is totally, like, by extension, ruined something that he is now a board member of. And when you're doing things like, hey, I need to see everything. My team needs to see every piece of media that you guys record and you want to put up on. It's like, what the fuck makes you think that you're just bigger? Nobody should be bigger than WWE. Not even The Rock, okay? And I understand that TKO has kind of, taken some things and, kind of stripped back a lot of what we love about professional wrestling. But Rock is I know John Cena made the joke that CM Punk is Mr. TKO. The real Mr. TKO is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He's the reason. He knows Nick Khan. He knows Ari Emanuel. He knows Mark Shapiro. He knows all these people within that place. And he's got so much power and influence. Like I said, he can make any decision that he wants. And if he could do that, he could kind of give back to the fans, but he doesn't give a shit about us. It's really selfish and it's really insulting. So, is what it is, man. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.